Frostborn just released their very first roadmap. Now, those of you who have seen my videos about Frostborn roadmaps in the past might be like, wait, what's going on? But apparently none of those counted. So, and I kind of knew that even when they did it, it was like a competition of a roadmap where people submitted the roadmaps, and we really pushed hard for the arena, and no one that chose an arena won, and everyone's like, the devs, this is stinks. And then I remember messaging the devs, like, why did, there was no arena, and the devs were like, look, that wasn't the real roadmap. And I was like, but then they're also like, but there probably won't be an arena. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, okay. So it was mind-boggling, but realized there was no roadmap. Well, they just posted on Twitter that the very first roadmap is now out for Frostborn. And I'm just going to prepare you. I'm a little disappointed because it's kind of like, it doesn't seem to tell us much more than I already told you guys when I, told you about, oh, I'm on the wrong account. It's not much more than, what we've already kind of seen with this. I mean, it's a little bit, but, we've got Alfar's camp, we've got the Grave Shipyard, and then we have the giant tree. And I think that there will be there is going to be more that is revealed in this roadmap, but it's not as much as I was hoping, at least. So let's get into it. This is the roadmap. We've got No Man's Land, which is, basically the Elven gates are open, and now the Immortals have to embark on a long frontier through the southern frontier, a territory that lies between peoples and elves' lands. So it is interesting that they said it lies between people and elf lands. So basically, they're not actually unlocking the elven lands. These apparently are not the elven lands. Alfar's camp and ship graveyard, and I think it means that the giant tree, which says is the realm of the elves, through it you can get into the realm of the elves. Got it. Okay. Everything makes sense now. So basically, this tree is the same thing as this elven gate. So the elven gate doesn't get us to the elves. The tree gate gets us to the elves. So after this update is over, we will unlock this gate, and that will get us into not the land of the elves, but rather the land of the Dark Alfar. So you can see here the stuff in 2022 that is coming is the southern frontier, and construction constructions for crafting, maybe instruction, or basically I think this is like blueprints for crafting and camp defense stuff. So that's kind of cool. And then it says there will be some elven resources and items. One. Elven resources and items 1. So it's the first installment, and then there's a new enemy called the Dark Alfars. So that's what we're getting this year. This update is going to end probably around the end of October. And then they'll have the new update probably pretty early on November, maybe. I think the next season will probably just kind of run from mid-November through the mid-December, I guess. So it'll cover maybe Thanksgiving and those type of things, those kind of holidays, but probably will be done before Christmas. That would be my guess. I think based on looking at this, they're going to have the No Man's Land update is going to have, it's going to be through Thanksgiving and all those holidays, but it will be done before the Winter Festival, which I guess is going to come out probably around Christmas time. It says the Yule is a festival season, a gap between 2 years, and there's no enmity and strife, but that doesn't mean that there will be no immortals, or the immortals will have nothing to do. I think that means that there will be no raiding again. Maybe raiding hasn't really been that big of a deal. So I'm really curious to know what they mean by that. So before we keep moving on in that, I think what that means is these two locations are going to open up next season. This is what I'm seeing in this roadmap. You can see that this picture is the exact picture that they use here in the No Man's Land. So these two will open up, but then the tree gate, the giant tree, will probably open to us like this is going to open to us. Or is open to us, but then you can't go through the gate, and then we'll have to do the season task to open that gate. And so kind of be a very similar thing, but there's going to be new resources, elven resources, and some elven items. I'm not sure what the items are. You would think that the elven items are like weapons and stuff, but that seems like that might come later. Maybe not. We'll see. And so anyway, so then we'll try to open up this tree, and then that tree is going to open up to more lands, the elven lands. And that's going to happen Christmas time. You can see here. And it's pretty cool. So it's got the new elven lands, which hopefully we'll get a little bit of a sneak peek of those, kind of like we got a sneak peek of the Dark Alfar lands. We'll get a sneak peek of those. And then we'll have the holiday season, Yule 2022. So that actually really confirms my view that this will be the Christmas update in this year. But then I'll go in through the new year. So they'll celebrate the new year as well. And then we've got a new system of pets. I have a lot of thoughts on this, but before I go there, Dark Alfar weapons, and then Elven armor. If you've seen my old videos, guys, the Elven armor is probably going to be the old armor. Everyone loved that armor. They took it out. It looks like Elven armor. I'm pretty sure that's what's coming back, and I'm hoping the Dark Alfar weapons look similar in style, because it's a really cool style. And so system of pets. So right now we've got wolves, we've got beetles, we've got rams. They're saying that there's going to be a new system of pets. So can we use these as our pets, or is it going to be like, no, those are just mounts? I think they are. I think there will be a new category in here. They'll probably put the illusionist and wolf somewhere, and then they'll put a pet. And so you'll have your two pets. You'll have your wolf and your, I don't know, maybe they'll move the character up and they'll have the 3 slots, and I bet you those pets are going to give you similar buffs to these, which will probably concern some of you guys, but I mean, it's still cool. It'd be fun to have a little puppy or a little wolf or a stag, or I don't know what they'll have, though I think a stag might be a better mount. And maybe just maybe, there will be a stag coming up here soon. It makes sense that there would be a stag in this game. It's a very big Viking thing. I don't know why that's not one of the mounts yet. They have beetles, but they don't have a stag. So that will be that next season, season 12. This is season 11. And then season 13, it looks like they're going to just add more to this. I mean, the Alfheim is, in Norse text, the home of the elves. And so the tree that we're seeing over here, that doesn't look like Alfheim. And so I'm sure that will get exposed to us, and we'll be able to go to Alfheim. I'm not sure what will be in Alfheim. It doesn't really give us a whole lot to go off here as far as like what there's going to be. But we do know that as this is kind of, I don't know if these are necessarily together. So like this lines up with this. It looks like this lines up with this, but I don't know if these necessarily line up with one or the other of these. It's possible that this lines with this and this lines with this, and then it just has future updates. But that, I mean, I think that there's some element to that, but it's not a guaranteed thing. It could be that the increase of maximum level, which makes sense that they would put that at the end. It's something that we're not going to be maybe as excited about. Some people will be excited about it, but others will be like, ooh, I don't know. That could be just as soon as you get into the elf lands. But it also could be, Alfheim, new Alfheim will have basically the same thing as Jotunheim. So basically, it would make sense if the Giants camp in Jotunheim gives us a level increase. It would make sense that Alfheim, it makes sense if Alfheim did the rest, or if there was a camp in Alfheim that did that. And so, and then it has new enemies, fallen elves, which I'm really excited about. I don't know if y'all got into like the mythology, Norse mythology, or even like just fantasy, where you've got like Drizzt, who is a fallen elf. Usually they're the dark elves. I don't know if that's how they're going to do that here. Fallen elf could not, fallen elves aren't always dark elves. Drizzt is a good fallen elf, or a good dark elf, whereas most of the dark elves in the Dungeons and Dragon kind of real nerdy theme, they're bad. There's a few that are good, and Drizzt was one of them. He does dual wields elven swords. And then this is really interesting, a new type of mount called the Elemental. I am really intrigued to know what that means, because right now, we've got a lot of different options with mounts. You've got a lot of different skills, stuff like that. Maybe the Elemental's just the same thing. It's just a new type of mount, like it says. Or maybe it's like such a different type of mount that, I don't know, like you can't be attacked while you're on an elemental. That probably doesn't make sense. It'll be interesting to see how they do elementals, because typically elementals are really tall and made of one of the earth like fire, water, air elementals, and they fight. It would make more sense for an elemental to be a pet, actually, because they usually fight for you. And so the fact that they're making a elemental something you ride is going to be interesting. But it's not that they couldn't do it. Like if you think of, I feel like I reference Frozen way too much for a Nordic game, but there are some similarities. You can see that she had different elementals that like the horse that she rode, the spirit horse, which the rogue already uses, is kind of an elemental, a water elemental. Frozen's kind of dumb because they say that ice is the fifth element, which is unbelievably ignorant even for a Disney show. But anyways, but the horse is kind of an elemental. That fire toad thing is an elemental, which you could make that something you could ride if it was full grown. So I could see them making it something like that, but I'm really curious to see what they do. Are they going to make, is it just going to be like a fire lizard and a ice horse, or is it going to be like an actual, like in D&D, the elementals are like these, just like just a bulky cloud of fire, or a bulky, thing of water, and they just, do damage. That's the typical in fantasy, and I don't think they could do that. You couldn't really ride something like that. So at least the way that it's normally portrayed. So I'm really curious to see how they do that. And then it says, what dangers are awaiting immortals in the underground city of the Dark Alfars? What else does the future have in store for them? Even the Nerns don't look that far ahead. The Norns. Okay, so anyways, yeah. So basically, we got future updates. It looks like they're gonna just keep branching out into this Elven, Dark Alfar idea. Personally, I think that's pretty good, or it's pretty strategic for them to do that, because what that's gonna do is it's going to parallel them with the Rings of Power, which are really big on elves and dwarves and all of that stuff. And people are going to see that, and it's going to help with their SEO rankings. It's going to help the game. because the Rings of Power, I don't know if you guys have seen the Rings of Power. It is unbelievable. Jeff Bezos spent $715 million, most anyone has ever spent on a TV show, and it is amazing. It may be a little slow, but it's worth it. By the time you get to the end, you will not regret it. And I think that when I watched the season finale, I told my wife, I was like, every single one of our college students is going to be watching this when season 2 comes out. It's going to become that, cultural phenomenon because they did such a good job with the first season. It's going to be, get a lot of watching on the second season. So I'm telling you, I'm calling it now. You should definitely watch the Rings of Power. And as that grows in popularity, stuff like elves and dwarves and all of the stuff that J.R.R. Tolkien uses, Google's gonna be like, this is a hot topic, and it's gonna be good for Frostborn, especially if they lean into the whole elf thing. So that's it, guys. So just kind of to summarize, basically what's gonna happen is we're doing this, opening this gate this season 10. In season 11, we're going to get access to these 2 zones, Alfar's Camp and Ship Graveyard. That's going to give us new blueprints for crafting and camp defense. It's going to give us some new resources, Elven resources and items, and then a new enemy called the Dark Alfar, which you can see there. They're the enemies of the elves. And that's going to open up the giant tree, which is going to be another gate. We're going to do the season, 11 thing to open that gate. Then in Christmas, we're going to get new territories that are the actual Elven lands, not the Dark Alfar lands, but the Elven lands. And we're going to get access to a new system of pets. We're going to get Dark Alfar weapons, and we're going to get Elven armor. Okay, so this is an old intro. I'm going to show you the old Elven armor. Blah, blah, blah.
But this time, enough success your team can under.
All right, so I'm going to show you.
But I'll talk more about that later. You die, the items you are holding lose 30% of their.
All right, so here's the old Elven armor. You can't see it yet. Blah, blah, blah. All right, I'm muting myself because it's a different video. This is this is crazy. Look at this. This is back when this armor was purple. Isn't that crazy? But this is the Elven armor I'm talking about. Let's see if we can find a picture of us in it. No, this is all blue. Now blue armor. Once was. Look at how the game used to look. This is crazy, right? Oh, come on. I'm going to show you. Don't wait. Don't worry. It's going to happen. You're going to see what it looks like. It's cool. All right, here's the Elven armor. I got to show you what it looks like on the person. Okay, here we go. This is the Elven armor. Maybe I can get a clip. There we go. No, that's not it. Dang it. I'm sorry, guys. I can't get you the clip. Okay, I can't find it. I think this is the best armor in the game back then, so I've actually gone back too far. There we go. Found it, guys. Here we go. This is the old Elven armor. You can see this is back when they didn't have skin. I mean, this is just so old. But this is what I think the Elven armor is going to look like. So, yeah, this is the Elven armor that they are basically talking about in this right here. I could be wrong, but everyone loved this armor. Everyone loved this armor, so I don't know why they wouldn't just bring it back. Okay, so this is what I think the old Elven armor is. That you'll notice I have a mage weapon. This is back when, it was smart to have heavy armor and a mage weapon, or heavy armor and a firebow once the firebow came out. This is actually before the firebow came out in the game. I've been covering this game for a while, but this is the old Elven armor. And so We'll have the Elven armor, those Dark Alpha weapons, which will hopefully be the same thing, and the new system of pets. And then in the next update, season 12, we'll probably have even more stuff. Maybe we'll have already seen it. Maybe they'll already reveal it, but we'll get access to more new things like the new Alfheim, and that will give us the new mounts, elemental mounts, more Elven resources and items, and then we'll be fighting the new enemy called the Fallen Elves. But that also, somewhere in there between season 11 and 12, wait, we're season 10, so season 12 and 13, we will not be in season 11. In season 12 or 13, we'll have the new level cap increase, and so I kind of called that in a previous video. But that's it, guys. This is the new roadmap, or the first roadmap ever in Frostborn's history. And so keep it coming, devs. I hope that when we get past the next 3 updates, we get another roadmap. All right, guys. See you next time.